Help me. Please, help me.
So what is up, everybody? Bobby here, Nintendo Guru, and welcome to the Nintendo Guru channel. I appreciate it. If it's your first time here, please, man, enjoy, sit back, kick back, have a good time. But I want to let everybody know that, like, man, I also stream over on Twitch every Monday through Thursday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We play some great games with the community. Only the best games, right? Only the Nintendo games that you guys love and I love and all that good stuff. So be sure to check me out over there.
You know, maybe, if you're so kind, you know? I don't know.
There's a few things I want to discuss. There's a couple of things I want to discuss, but it all boils down to one major thing. Link to the Past HD. Let's discuss. So yeah, it's been a while, right? It's been a week, right? So every single Wednesday we do this thing where we do a video here over on YouTube's, and I don't know why I put the S on the end.
Something stupid that I like to do from time to time is put the S on the end of things like Pokemons, and please forgive me for being so dumb, essentially.
So a few months ago, there was a rumor, a leak of sorts, that there was going to be a few games announced at E3 coming out, so if you want to go back 6 months approximately, but one of those games was Link to the Past HD, and people were losing their minds. Do me a favor, just raise your hands if you were losing your mind. So essentially what it was there was a Best Buy leak, and this leak basically came out and it said that there was SKU numbers for Metroid Prime Trilogy, which is still heavily rumored to be coming, as well as Link to the Past HD, and then we also got Link's Awakening, and so it basically got people stirred up and excited. But what I'm about to talk about isn't necessarily a Nintendo official Links to the Past HD. Good friend of mine, best friend in all the land, Toby Thornton, he sent me a link the other day of this guy who essentially is building Link to the Past HD. I'm going to show some footage of it and such, but man, this thing looks fantastic. Like, let's make no mistake about it. If this is what Nintendo could do, this would be a home run all day long. So the person who made this up, Blob Van Dam, go check out his YouTube channel. I'm sure he'll have more footage of this game as the game gets closer to his release schedule, and I'm not really sure what exactly he's hoping to accomplish. Let's be honest. If this is legitimate, right? So if this is, he's going to build this, put it out, whatever, he will very soon be getting a cease and desist letter from Nintendo. There's no doubt about that. Like, nobody gets away with this kind of thing, especially as heavily as Nintendo has been lately of attacking people and going after them and trying to pull down websites and all these different emulation sites and all that. If you remember the Metroid 2 Samus Returns, that remake, that basically got pulled down and stopped. But the creator of that actually is working on the new Ori game. So in the end, he won. He got what he wanted. He got a job in game development. And perhaps this is what Blob Van Dam is looking to do as well, as to go like, hey, this is what I could do. If anybody out there would like to do something, like, hit me up. And that's what sometimes a lot of these guys do, is they will create these HD renders or these sequels to games, and there's no real true, I guess, intention of it ever getting made. Mother 4 was huge for a very long time, and it got very far in development, and then Nintendo struck it down with some stop doing this type thing, and they retooled it, and we still haven't heard anything about that. That being said, what Blob Van Dam is able to accomplish here, the looks, the feel, everything, the voice acting is gorgeous and amazing. And just, if you have a point where Zelda is talking to Link via the whole, you know, your kind of telepathy type thing.
Help me. Please, help me.
it worked out really well. And man, the game looks gorgeous. When he comes out of that house at nighttime in the rain and the thunder and everything's happening, the only thing I wish we would have seen some more swordplay of sorts, or seen some swordplay of sorts. The only thing we got really was him just picking up shrubs and throwing those. But what I saw got me excited for two things. One, if this does happen to finally get out somewhere, just to be able to try it. Just to be like, hey, this is kind of cool to try this. But if Nintendo was to actually do this. With the rumor that came out last year, I got super excited. I'm a huge Link to the Past Zelda fan. Like, that is my #1 all-time game from Nintendo for a Zelda franchise. I mean, there's other games that are great out there, and I'm not taking anything from the Zelda games out there in the wild. But for me, it's always been this particular game. It's always been this one because the fact of when I played the original Zelda, I loved it. And I have such fond memories of me and my cousin Johnny just hanging out and playing it all the time and trying to discover the map and get further and figure things out and beat the dungeons. And then when we finally beat that game, the sense of gratification after almost a year of playing it just really, truly made us feel amazing. And then when Zelda 2 came along, I'm a fan of Zelda 2, don't get me wrong. But Zelda 2 wasn't what we wanted. Zelda 2 was kind of Nintendo going like, this is the sequel, here you go. Like, this is Super Mario Bros. 2, this is Simon's Quest. Like, in the NES era, Nintendo and other game companies were notorious for, they put the first game out there, then here comes the sequel, and the sequel is nothing like the original. So when A Link to the Past finally hit, and we got this game that looked like the original, but my god, the dial turned way up and it looked fantastic. Even so much so today that, like, the pixel art just looks phenomenal. But to see this game in a beautiful HD render with a beautiful sheen on it, I was always under the feeling of, like, I don't ever want to see this game taken out of the pixel art. Like, I feel like the pixel art is amazing and I don't want to lose that, but man, this is a home run. This is a grand slam of all grand slams because it looks so good. The quality, the care, the time that he took to make everything, just the lighting and everything just looks gorgeous. So if you take what that looks like and put the gameplay of the original, I'm in. I'm so in. Because I remember when Nintendo talked about remaking it for the 3DS, which then became Link Between Worlds. But at the time, that was essentially what Nintendo was doing, was remaking A Link to the Past. And I would love for them to do that game just because, man, I feel like the younger generation doesn't like to go back to pixel art. And I get it. I understand. Like, for me, I'm not going to be one of those people that go like, no, you need to go back. No. Just play the game. Because I feel like a lot of people that played Link's Awakening, as much as they loved it on the Switch, I think a lot of them went back to play the original just to get a sense of what it was. It doesn't play well on people when you don't get that true sense of where these games came from. And for me, A Link to the Past is such a treasured game that I would love to see more people play it, especially the younger generation that don't understand why it's so exciting and why it's so amazing. Like, for me, again, being a young boy and getting that taste of Hyrule with a top-down Zelda that looked and felt like everything I originally wanted. Like, I remember me and my cousin just looking at this game and going like, this game will never look, like, games will never look this good again. And every generation says that. Like, every generation that gets a game like Last of Us on the PS3, like, you played that and it was like, man, it'll never do better. And then here comes the PS4 and it's just like, oh my god, like Uncharted 4, like, it'll never be better. And it's the way that the gamers are built. You know, like, when you see these things, your mind gets blown to the fact of how can it even be better than what it was. It doesn't make sense. You can't compute, you can't comprehend. So for me, at that time, like, even though that sounds so silly now looking back, at that time we just felt like, oh my god, this is the be-all, end-all of Zelda games. And it you know, the storyline and all the different things that took place in that, like, there were such things that harken back, and just when you think back to them, the moments of the two brothers that won't talk at all, and then you do something to the house to make it an open air type thing. I don't want a spoiler, right? It's a 30-year-old game. Do we really want to spoil a 30-year-old game? I don't want to spoilers. You bomb the wall between the two between the two rooms, and then they decide to talk, but then at the end of the game you find out that they're together again, and stuff like that, like little things like that. Like the storyline progressed, and it just felt amazing to see that stuff come together. So for me personally, I don't know, man. It's kind of beating a drum, you know, just beating the same drum over and over again, where I feel like I'm saying to myself over and over, like, I just want this game. So I would love to see Nintendo put this out, but when I look at Blob Van Dam and what he did, I wonder what his goal is. I hope that it's to get a job, because man, if you are a indie developer and you are looking for a top-down Zelda, this is the guy you need to go talk to. Because man, if he can take your Hazelnut Bastille or, you know, different games of those nature and just put this sheen on it, why wouldn't you? It's just nuts. But I would also encourage him to, man, just go make your own top-down Zelda game. Like, do it. You're doing the work. Why just go do your own stuff. Hopefully you get a job out of this. It would be fantastic if you did. But I tip my cap to you, because this game looks phenomenal. You did a great job with it. So I don't know. So guys, let me know in the comments down below, is this something that excites you? Do you think that this is a really good port or whatever? Does this get you hyped up? Do you want Link to the Past for the Switch in HD? Like, where is your radar here with this, and what does this do for you? So that is all. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, every Monday through Thursday over on Twitch, we're streaming. Go check us out over there. Follow me Instagram, Twitter, @Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Preston.